So hi all, my name is Alex. As you can see on screen, I am taking care of everything from a learning and development perspective on this specific project. And I wanted to talk to you about what I suppose the contents of the program that I've designed from a mentor perspective look like, and also how we can get a couple of other bits and pieces out of this from the content that we've got, the resources that we've got, all these different things. But first of all, I wanted to speak to you all about what mentoring actually is, so that we're all on the same page when it comes to actually pairing and then getting started on this journey. So in terms of the definition, we understand mentoring as being basically the things that help people to develop more quickly and also more effectively. And it's a relationship designed to help people to build confidence, and I suppose from the mentor's perspective to support the mentees, but also from the mentee's perspective, they should be able to take control of all of their work and all of the effort and all of their own development. So effectively, it's almost that tutelage without having that firm teacher at the front of the class. A mentor is someone who is definitely experienced and is able to share various different pieces of knowledge and information, their own experience, and help support the development of the mentee. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the mentee has to be inexperienced. The mentee has experience. It's just that the mentor has specific knowledge and specific experience in certain things that may help to accelerate the progress and also the learning and development of the mentee. So in an effective mentoring relationship, we are looking at from this perspective as seeing a two-way learning opportunity for both parties. We want it to be encouraging, we want it to be sharing, we want to be learning on both sides. So I'm going to ask you this question. I'd love to see in the chat panel what you think a mentor actually is. Because we speak about mentors all the time. We speak about coaches all the time. Marissa comes in with a support network, definitely. I see someone that can provide guidance and support. Why sounding board? I like that. I really, really like that. With your best interests at heart. We've got guidance, support, enthusiasm, positivity. Cool, they're coming through thick and fast. Fantastic. So, I love a voice of reason, at least a listener, someone who provides guidance, someone who creates space. I really like that from Carmen. Really, really like that one. Someone who guides you on the right path. Thank you, Rizzy. So an optimist, there's tons of stuff. Okay, cool. So I can see that everyone's kind of thinking in the same way, where we're seeing things around, encouraging self-reflection, encouraging insight into a career and also, the work itself and what they do as a mentor, supporting and encouragement. I'm seeing that all the way through. I'm also seeing different perspectives as well. So people saying words like empowerment, that sounds as if you're bringing in your perspective to help someone be the best that they can be. Cool. I'm seeing all the right words. I love it. Okay, cool. So it sounds as if we're all on the same page then. So if I were to ask you this question, and it's a slightly different question to the one I've just posed, what do mentors provide? We've had a few suggestions, such as creating a safe space, but what else do they provide? So I can see Kat put forward providing a reflective space and taking different perspectives, reassurance, listening, perspective, knowledge, a sounding board, the truth. I like that. The truth is a really, really big one. And I suppose it's a tricky one because sometimes we hear the truth and it's not exactly what we want to hear, but the mentor is trusted in that sense for sure. Extra knowledge, different perspective, belief in the mentor. I love that. Safe space, objectivity. That's a really important word. I like that. Critical feedback. And just for the record, just so everyone, I suppose, kind of sees it from the perspective of how this program has been designed. Most people will talk about feedback in a very specific way. We talk about positive feedback, and then we can talk about constructive feedback. Now, both positive and constructive, or if you prefer negative, is fine as long as it's specific. If it's general pieces of feedback, and this goes both ways, the mentee speaking upwards to the mentor and also the mentor speaking upwards to the mentee, either way, we want to make sure that it's very specific around something that someone can do, a behavior. So in terms of the feedback that we're looking to get from both sides of this relationship that you're about to embark upon is to ensure that we have all of the information that's put forward as feedback to help towards each other's personal development, for it to be things that not necessarily are done wrong, but things that could be done differently. Not to say that that's rubbish, but to say it could be better if you did something different, and giving some examples of what that is, or asking some coaching questions around what could be done differently. It's a slight difference in terms of phrase. We see mentors as creating the safe space and really focusing on the future. And when mentors focus on the future, it's about the what. Focusing on that future has the aim of developing and also committing to those learning goals. And the mentors, as I go through the Train the Mentor program, I'll be really focusing in very heavily, I suppose, on SMART goals and how we can get those goals um, forwards as something that's actually tangible, something you can actually take with two hands and run with. But then also to ensure that we have lots of information flying forwards to ensure that all of those goals can be met. And if they're not being met, to figure out where things can be course corrected. Ultimately, the objective of having a mentor is to open horizons, to give the valuable information that the mentee needs. But we want to make sure that mentees don't feel like this. Mentors shouldn't be making mentees feel stressed, feel pressured, to have judgment placed upon them, to have very strict timelines. And of course, everyone has certain deadlines in their personal life as well as in their professional life. But we want to make sure that that's open and both sides are able to communicate on things, because life happens, things change. We know and acknowledge the fact that even if you say, I'm going to do this by the end of the week, sometimes it's just not. We want both sides to be okay with actually when things are going well and also when things aren't necessarily going to plan. One other thing that we want to make sure is that the mentors don't just pull rank to say, I'm more senior, I know what's going on, I've been in industry for 15, for 20, for 50 years. That in this space doesn't, it's not as important. We want to make sure that the mentors have a really open thought, and that, you know, we don't have mentees looking like this, but equally that mentors don't look like this as well. We want people to have those spaces to be able to communicate both ways. And I mean, ultimately, I think this image that I chose kind of sums it up, not necessarily right from the bottom and the base of the mountain, but the mentees are already seeing some of the highlights from the top. They're already able to see what's going on. They can already see what success looks like. And ideally, we want the mentors to be able to help you in that same way.